said that I need all fighters. I said, I need all the young fighters that's making money in the sport of boxing. What I need you guys to do is do this.
Floyd Mayweather, who found a way to make boxing fans and professionals believe that Frank Martin wasn't an easy opponent, a claim that wasn't easy to believe, has joined the chorus of boxing professionals who are criticizing Gervonta Davis' upcoming fight against Lamont Roach on December 14. At that point, he knocked out the Detroit native in the 8th round, ending all of his hopes of winning the world championship. At this time, Gervonta Davis is making every effort to persuade the boxing community that Lamont Roach, a world champion in a lesser weight class, is the B3 Saints opponent.
Gucci, Louis, Mercedes, we need to take our money and invest in real estate.
Lamont Roach enters this match with a 2-point deficit, having lost twice to Dan Davis in their amateur bouts. Boxing fans are reaching their breaking point, as many question whether Davis is a more deserving opponent than Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, and Ryan Garcia recently weighed in on the situation after learning about an altercation involving Dan Davis and the trainer of Artur Beterbiev, who doubts Davis' Hall of Fame credentials. Floyd Mayweather supported Beterbiev's trainer, emphasizing that the journey to greatness isn't solely about pursuing titles. Mayweather noted that only a select few will earn a spot in the Boxing Hall of Fame, and he doesn't believe Gervonta Davis will be among them. While Davis may win his next fight, he risks losing credibility in the process. It's essential for fighters to take on real challenges and embody the principles of greatness rather than just padding their records. True legacy comes from facing worthy opponents and living up to the ideals of the sport.
Great life when our careers are over. So I guess that he took it as, I guess he's the only one that wears chrome heart.
The conversation around all-time boxing greats intensified after Artur Beterbiev defeated Mitriy Bivol in Riyadh, becoming the first undisputed light heavyweight champion of the four-belt era. Beterbiev and his team have been in the media spotlight, particularly after a recent comment by one of Bivol's coaches, John Scully. He inadvertently ignited a feud with Gervonta "Tank" Davis when he stated bluntly that Davis does not belong in the Boxing Hall of Fame. In a discussion on the 10 or 8 podcast, Scully was asked if Davis would earn a spot in the International Boxing Hall of Fame if he retired today. He responded that the current WBA lightweight champion, whose notable victories include Leo Santa Cruz and Ryan Garcia, doesn't meet the criteria. Scully argued that the Hall of Fame should be reserved for boxing's elite, citing legends like Sugar Ray Robinson, Henry Armstrong, Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Muhammad Ali.
I want to say he's kind of like a defensive, genius. Like he know how to protect himself and he know ways to maneuver and to slow down the pace and different angles. I think that fight will probably favor Tank because Tank have God-given speed and reflex.
He acknowledged that under current standards, some fighters may make it into the Hall of Fame, but he believes that it should represent the absolute best. I don't want to name names, he said, but there are guys in the Hall of Fame who absolutely shouldn't be there. When pressed about Davis's Hall of Fame potential, Scully reiterated that, in his opinion, true greatness should be the standard for induction, suggesting that Davis, at this point, hasn't yet reached that level.
Davis, he's supposed to fight, apparently, Lamont Roach at a 130. And I think a lot of people are upset about that. Like, he's not fighting any of the champions. He's not.
Iceman Scully may have had a point in his critique of Gervonta "Tank" Davis, but Davis took the comment as a personal affront and retaliated with a scathing online response that ultimately backfired. The 29-year-old Baltimore native is known for his unwavering confidence and an electrifying fighting style that has led to 28 knockouts in 30 professional bouts. While many recognize Tank's skill and power as qualities that could place him among the sport's elite, critics argue that he has yet to consistently prove himself against top-tier competition. The situation escalated when Scully, Beterbiev's coach, asserted on a podcast that Davis is not Hall of Fame material. He emphasized that the Hall of Fame should honor boxing legends, leaving little room for contemporary fighters without a legacy of monumental achievements. Scully's comments struck a nerve with Davis, who felt disrespected and decided to respond with characteristic bravado. He took to X, formerly Twitter, to dismiss the accomplishments of Scully's fighter, Artur Beterbiev, who had just become the first undisputed light heavyweight champion in over 2 decades following his victory over Dmitry Bivol. Davis claimed that Beterbiev, despite his recent achievements, is not a worthy boxer and dismissed him as a bum. In a now-deleted post, he insulted Beterbiev, implying that the fighter trained by Scully was far beneath his level. However, this move backfired spectacularly. The backlash was swift, with fans quick to defend Beterbiev's credentials and criticize Davis for his lack of respect toward a fellow champion. Many pointed out that, while Davis may have knockout power, Beterbiev has accumulated more accolades and holds a more impressive track record in the sport. One fan highlighted the disparity in their careers, noting that Beterbiev's achievements far surpassed those of Davis, stating that the Russian boxer should be on his way to the Hall of Fame, especially with just a few more significant victories. Another fan mocked Davis' tendency to engage in online beefs, commenting, "Soft bum, guy feelings hurt again," questioning Davis' ability to accept criticism without resorting to insults. Davis' reputation for getting embroiled in social media feuds was further compounded by his recent spat with Lamont Roach Jr. The online exchanges not only tarnished Davis' image, but also suggest a pattern of him struggling to handle criticism from his peers. One fan succinctly pointed out that Roach had disintegrated Davis in their exchange, further highlighting the perception that Tank is more concerned with online bravado than with proving himself in the ring. It's worth noting that while Davis may have thrown shade at Beterbiev, the latter is far from being a bum. In fact, Beterbiev is currently regarded as one of the scariest boxers active today. Before his fight with Bivol, he had won every single match via knockout. His skill set and relentless power have earned him a spot in Ring Magazine's pound-for-pound rankings, where he is placed at number 4. Meanwhile, Davis sits at number 7, demonstrating that Beterbiev's accomplishments and recognition in the boxing community outshine those of Davis, at least for now. Ultimately, Davis' online tirades might do more harm than good, casting doubt on his maturity and readiness to compete at the highest levels of boxing. If he wishes to be taken seriously as a potential Hall of Famer, he may need to channel his energy into facing elite opponents rather than engaging in petty online squabbles.
Henry Armstrong, Joe Louis, talking Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali. Again, I don't want to say any names, but there are guys.
One fan who sided with Scully pointedly remarked that you don't earn a spot in the Hall of Fame by fighting cab drivers and tomato cans, adding that Davis might make it into a cherry-picking Hall of Shame. This criticism of Davis's matchmaking has been a persistent issue, with many believing he intentionally selects easier opponents. His upcoming fight against Lamont Roach was particularly scrutinized, as Tank chose a fighter from a lower division instead of seeking the unification bout with other title holders. Another fan revived an old joke, quipping that there's no doubt Davis deserves a place in the Baltimore Boxing Hall of Fame, which he had once jokingly claimed himself after facing criticism about his performances. This fan sarcastically noted that Davis would never be part of the Hall of Fame conversation, especially considering both Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol are now regarded as top pound-for-pound fighters. Following his victory over Bivol, Beterbiev secured his place as the number 4 pound-for-pound boxer in the world, further highlighting the gap between his accomplishments and those of Davis. The fans' comments reflect a growing sentiment that, to gain true recognition, Davis must step up and face more formidable opponents rather than relying on less challenging matchups.
He the one told Frank that I was running at 7 o'clock in the morning, Friday. He told Frank that. He was giving Frank tips and stuff like that. But I knew for sure that wasn't going to be enough to beat me. It's cool. It's all right.
My record in life, nigga, what's your record under the lights? Nigga, every 50 of your opponents.
My record in life is undefeated.
Nigga, listen, huh? You said what? You said in life.
My record in life is undefeated.
Despite their professional affiliations, Davis and Mayweather have had a turbulent relationship. Davis spent a large amount of his career fighting under Mayweather's promotions, but tensions began to arise as early as 2017 when Davis became the world title in late 2022. Following his fight with Rally Romero, Davis broke with Mayweather Promotions to follow an independent career under the counsel of Al Heyman.
Promotion is about just becoming that man, handle your own responsibility, your own priority. So I feel as though it's my career, so I feel as though I need to be the one to control my career. You know what I mean? So, and it's time. You know what I mean? Everybody don't need to, have them. Tell Floyd to get on live. Tell him show where he at. Yo, them people over in Dubai that money. Tell him get on live right now.
Initially, the split between Gervonta Davis and Floyd Mayweather seemed amicable, but tensions resurfaced leading up to Davis's match against Ryan Garcia in April 2023. Davis accused Mayweather of limiting his access to the Mayweather Gym, a key training venue for him. Despite Mayweather attending Davis' victorious fight against Garcia, anxiety between them has lingered. Recently, Mayweather critiqued modern fighters for their preoccupation with superficial fame and wealth, which Davis perceived as a veiled attack aimed at him. Mayweather called out these fighters for failing to take their craft seriously and instead focusing on their appearances in the ring. He contrasted their mindset with his own, emphasizing that they admire the finished product of his career without understanding the hard work and sacrifices that led him there. Mayweather pointed out, "A lot of times, these fighters are looking at me with the cars and the flashiness. Listen, I made so many sacrifices. You're seeing the end result. But when I was a champion with hundreds of millions in the bank, I was still grinding in that gym." He lamented that many fighters are worried about their outfits and how their boots look instead of focusing on their training. Mayweather cautioned that many of them are living paycheck to paycheck, stressing the importance of dedication to the sport over superficial concerns.